I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 personnel needs to be a part of this Florida Gators offense in 2023. We're going to talk about it here on Locked On Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts. I've got the pen in hand because I'm going full sicko mode here with drawing, and that's what we're doing because we're talking about 22 personnel today. If you don't know, I'm Brandon Olsen. You can find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon, written work with Whole Nine Sports, Giants Country, NFL 33. And I have an addiction to needing to just constantly evolve the offense, even if that means bringing it back to old school a little bit. And one of those ways that I do want to evolve the offense, but also take it back again, is 22 personnel. If you don't know what 22 personnel is, 22 personnel or any two-digit personnel, even if it's 01, is two running backs, two tight ends. The first number is your running backs, the second number is your tight ends, and then the rest is wide receivers. They have to add up to 5. So that's what we're doing with 22 personnel. We know that Billy Napier has historically loved using 12 personnel. I am not advocating to replace 12 personnel. I'm advocating to add this to your game plan if you're Billy Napier. Okay? We know that for 2023, Billy Napier and this coaching staff, they want to just dominate time of possession. That's a big point of emphasis for them, especially this year where their game plan is, it has to be play good defense, run the football, and try to win the game that way. You don't have the just straight up dynamic, explosive playmaking ability that you had last year because guess what? Anthony Richardson is in the NFL, number 4 overall pick. Boom. You don't have that. What you do have is still a pretty solid offensive line. You still have arguably the best running back duo in the country, one of the best running back duos in the country without even conversation. You've got solid tight end personnel. And that's all you need to be able to run 22 personnel. Okay? Also, Graham Mertz knows plenty about running 22 personnel because Wisconsin was very I-form heavy. We're going to switch that up. We'll talk specific formations for the rest of the show, but we are going to talk about just who you have here. Because 22 personnel, guess what? The focus of 22 personnel, run the football. You have one of the best running back duos in the country. Give them the damn football. Then on top of that, you have something that very few college football teams have on their roster and can replicate in scout team. And that is Arlis Boardingham. Arlis Boardingham is that wide receiver tight end hybrid, which, yes, that's awesome to have when you think, oh, we could spread things out. We can go 11 personnel and have Arlis be the one tight end. And it's really like having 4 receivers on the field, but instead you have a tight end there so you can run the ball without sacrificing anything, and you can throw the ball without sacrificing anything. You could do that. However, you can get even heavier at that point, and you can go 22 personnel. And when you have Arlis Boardingham, that makes you that much more lethal because, yes, you have that run-heavy personnel with 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. But you still get to operate as if you have 2 wide receivers on the field. But then again, you've got those 2 running backs that just make your running game so much more dynamic and so much more killer there. Arlis is kind of that key to unlocking it. There's a couple other guys that you can use as like an Arlis light in this sense. But there's nobody on the roster that has what Arliss has physically and just brings to the table in that way. Because again, you're basically running 21 personnel, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, because you've got Arliss is just a wide receiver, tight end hybrid. You could line him up straight up out wide. You're still in 22 personnel, but you're presenting yourself as if you're 21 personnel. Okay? That's the tricky part as far as being creative, but also being able to stick to what you want to be, stick to your identity if you're Billy Napier in this offense. Also, I will say this, because when I was talking 22 personnel, yes, it's 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. That could mean 2 halfbacks, a halfback, and a fullback. I'm mostly talking about 2 running backs, mostly being Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne. However, also Cam Carroll and Trayon Webb could also get involved there. That's one of the fun parts about it is you have depth, and this is a good way to get them involved, where if you have 12 personnel, you have 1 running back on the field, and if it's Cam Carroll or Trayon Webb, neither of them are really proven as rushers in the SEC. Cam Carroll's more a pass catcher out of the backfield. Trayon Webb is a true freshman. So you can have them on the field, and it's like, okay, well, our running game kind of relies entirely on them right now. That could be good or bad. If it's 22 personnel, then you can have Montrell as your lead back with Cam Carroll or Trayon Webb and give Trevor Etienne a little bit of rest. And then you can go back with your 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 10 personnel, and have Trevor Etienne be the main back in that case. So you can be a little fun with that one. But also, yes, shout out to Hal Lewis, who, I mean, if you don't know, you should. If you're a Florida Gators fan, you should know who Hal Lewis is. But he made the suggestion on Twitter the other day, Andrew Savaianai at fullback. I'm like I don't know if you know this, but Andrew Savaianai is a sledgehammer there. 93rd percentile height for a fullback, 98th percentile weight for a fullback in the NFL, not even as a redshirt freshman in college. So you can kind of have a little fun there and take it back even further while also still revolutionizing your offense, because the fullback is just not something that's typically used in college football or even in the NFL most of the time now. So having that fullback there really opens things up as well, especially if he's also a tight end, because guess what? You can go 12 personnel and have your 2 receivers on the field. But like, imagine if you're going 12 personnel and your tight ends are Arliss Boardingham and Andrew Savaianai, and it's like, oh, one that's a wide receiver tight end, one that's like a fullback tight end, and just go nuts with it. That's what I'm saying. You can get very creative with your offense if you're Billy Napier. Like, you could still do everything you want to do as far as running the football, controlling the clock, getting first downs, and then winning the football game and getting off the field when you have your defense out there. You can do all of that. But you can be even more creative and more sicko mode about it. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to turn this program into a sicko program. And I am about to tell you about specific formations to get that done, because let me tell you, I drew them up and I'm ready to go. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available, and that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. With simple tools like screening questions, it makes it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts. Please do be sure to like, subscribe, comment, review, join the Locked On Gators Discord. Links in the description below. Now we're talking specific formations and sets that you can use if you're the Florida Gators with this 22 personnel. First, we'll start with the pistol because everybody knows Billy Napier loves 12 personnel. He does. Billy Napier also loves the pistol set. And for good reason, by the way. I feel like a lot of people, you kind of sleep on the pistol set. Because pistol is not just some kind of silly little thing where it's like, why not just go shotgun? Pistol gives you versatility, and that's the name of the game. And don't forget it, because when you go out of the pistol, it allows you to drop back and pass like you're in the shotgun. You don't have to drop back under center like that. It allows you to pass like you're in shotgun, but it also allows you to run like you're under center because running back's behind you. So it allows you to run like you're under center. And that really makes things even more creative at that point and more versatile at that point. And that's why Billy Napier loves the pistol set. Like, that's the point of pistol, but that's why Billy Napier loves it. It gives you that versatility and consistency also, though. Like you get to do a bunch of different things, but you don't have to change anything really about your game. And that's the impressive part, right? Like, you could run the option from pistol. You can just straight up drop back and pass. You can just hand it off. You can do anything you can do from shotgun out of pistol, but pistol also gives you the ability to run as if you're under center. Because that's the thing with shotgun. That's why DeMarco Murray was like bad running out of shotgun. He's fantastic running back with the Cowboys when they worked under center. He went to the Eagles and he was bad operating out of the shotgun just because it is different the way you get going and the way you take the ball and move at that point. So pistol allows you to kind of minimize that and just get downhill and go because you're running as if you're under center. With Florida, if you wanted to work with 22 personnel and the pistol set, you can still do that. I got the drawing for you right here. Let me just pull this up, and this is going to be really ugly. But that's what you can do with the pistol set. You've got Graham Mertz there. You've got the running back behind him, which I called that the H. I don't have a specific reasoning for calling that the H. You have the F next to him, which I put F mostly because it's like, okay, I guess fullback in this case. You have the two tight ends and a running back. I put the running back specifically on this opposite side of the F, which is, again, our fullback, because there's a few reasons there. One, I think it gives you the opportunity to work more with misdirection at that point because you can have that jet sweep come across. And then you can actually just hand it off to your F, who's your fullback in this case, and he can run to the opposite side. So whereas your wide receiver's coming this way, you can then just hand it off to your F and go that way while the entire defense is thinking, oh my God, they're going to go with this running back. And then you can create some explosive plays that way. Again, I put the F. It doesn't have to be a fullback. I put that before Hal Lewis even mentioned Andrew Savai and I could play fullback. That was always the formation. That was always the set. You can do that and give you that misdirection. Okay? So you can work there. You can also actually run that sweep and not even go misdirection. You have the fullback on that side as well as the tight end on that side, and they can lead block that way. And you can help make that play even more explosive. That sweep, that touch pass, whatever it is, make it that much more explosive. You can run with that receiver, that sweep, and you can fake that sweep, hand it off to your actual halfback, and have him run to the same side of the sweep. And then now you have the wide receiver, the tight end, the fullback, all lead blocking for your halfback. That's why I'm saying this stuff is awesome. Like, you can do so much out of 22 personnel and the pistol set specifically. Because even if you do that fake to the sweep and then hand it off to your fullback running wide left, you've still got another tight end right on that side. Or if you want to go really sicko, you could put the tight ends on the same side, run that sweep, fake, hand it to your running back on that side, and just have everybody lead blocking. And you can get really crazy with it. And that's a really awesome part here. I'm telling you, 22 personnel is the sicko way to go. And that's what Billy Napier should do in Florida. Like, can you imagine the absolute hell that you can put a defense through by having that one wide receiver not be Ricky Pearsall, but be Aiden Mizell? Just have Aiden Mizell run that jet motion through the backfield. Whether you fake the handoff or hand it to him or do whatever you want to do, you can do all that. But just the possibility of that misdirection, just the possibility of Aiden Mizell getting the ball would give a defense fits. And that's what you're ultimately trying to do, is cause miscommunication. So you could do all that from that pistol set. And again, you can run your entire offense like you always have out of there. Especially if in that 22 set, you've got that F is Andrew Savai and one of the tight ends is Arlis Boardingham. Because guess what? You can run this pistol set right there. You can run that pistol set. And the very next play, you can take one of the tight ends being Arlis, put him out wide like a receiver, take your F being Andrew Savai, put him on the line like a tight end. And then you've got a very heavy front. If, let's say, the other tight end is Dante Sanders or Hayden Hansen, you have very heavy front on your line of scrimmage. You have the speed of Aiden Mizell. You have one of your fantastic running backs. And then you have the mismatch nightmare that is Arlis Boardingham. Because if you come out in that pistol set, that defense is coming out in a heavy set as well, which means that now you've probably got a mismatch somewhere along the way. You see what I mean? Like, that's why I'm clamoring for this. Will it happen? I have genuinely no idea. Should it happen? Absolutely, it should. You can run left, right. You'd have at least an additional blocker on either side, because it could be your tight end on one side, it could be your tight end on the other, it could be your fullback or your F, whatever it is. And again, I'm saying fullback, but I'm calling that position the F for me. It could be another running back. Like it could straight up be Montrell behind Graham Mertz, Trevor Etienne to the right of him, and that allows Trevor Etienne to prioritize running wide runs to the left or to the right, depending on which side he's standing on, Graham Mertz. And it allows Montrell to focus and really be the thunder there, as well as giving you that misdirection. That's right. It's not perfect, but given the current roster, given your coaching staff, and your already tendency to go 12 personnel, you can run 22 probably pretty seamlessly. Look at it from the shotgun now. And I do have a little drawing for the shotgun. This is, again, just a generally loose drawing of that formation. There we go. Yes, I am a direct descendant of Pablo Picasso, if you can't tell. Because masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece on the drawing board there. But you would have one running back on one side of Graham Mertz and another running back on the other side of Graham Mertz. And that gives you the same versatility as the pistol set. There's no running as if it's under center, but you can hand it to either running back. And we've seen Billy Napier and this offense last year be able to work counter runs from the pistol, from the shotgun. You can still do all of that right there. So it's not just like, oh, we know if they hand it to Montrell, he's going to this side. No. No. It could be anybody. And again, that could still be your halfback or a fullback style like Andrew Savai, or hell, get really crazy with it. Put Arlis at the fullback spot and just let him hand it to him. I don't care. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers in space. That's the name of the game. That was the name of the game when Spurrier was out here whooping. That was the name of the game when Urban Meyer was out here whooping. And that's the name of the game now. That's still the point of football. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers in space and put them in position to make plays. That's what you have to do. And that's what you can do with this 22 personnel. So put it, I don't care who it is, but think about it this way also. Because I mentioned, maybe one side is Montrell, one side's Cam Carroll. In pistol set, you could do that same thing in the gun. Okay? You can have Montrell Johnson as on one side as your smash kind of player, or You can have Cam Carroll on the other side where he's more of the pass-catching running back, the James White style of running back. And the Shane Vereen style, if you want to call him that. And you can have him be used that way. You can put, instead of Montrell, you could put Trevor Etienne and have his just speed and explosion. And then Cam Carroll with his pass-catching ability there. Also, again, it allows you the possibility to put Trayon Webb on the field, give one of your starters rests, put Trayon Webb on the field. You can get him the ball in space if you feel comfortable with what he can do there. We saw him in high school make some pretty damn good plays in space. Obviously, the SEC is just a little bit different, but you can still give him the opportunity to prove himself that way. Okay, like it's all about just finding ways to give playmakers the ball and let them make those plays. It also, it allows you the freedom of basically using a guy as a running back / fullback and letting him lead block. Like you can do that with Montrell and Trevor Etienne in the backfield at the same time on either side of Graham Mertz. You're probably way better off handing it to Trevor Etienne and letting Montrell work as a lead blocker there, but you can do that. You can work a triple option or a speed option in there. And you don't want Graham Mertz to be your primary ball carrier there, but he's your option there. You can work the shovel option. You can do a ton. It also allows for smooth and easy play action where Graham Mertz doesn't have to turn his back to the defense, which I know that was a big thing with Anthony Richardson that a lot of Florida Gators fans kept complaining about Anthony Richardson having to turn his back to the defense, and that would often lead to just miscues or errors or whatever it might be. We know that Graham Mertz will have no issues turning his back to the defense for a play fake. Like he went to Wisconsin. They work under center a ton. Every time that he dropped back was almost that. It was bad. And every time that he ran the play fake, he had to do that as well. So we know he can do it. But it does give you that easier decision making, especially when you're operating that RPO style, can really work out in your favor. You could be in an immediate position to throw the ball early, whether it's a slant, whatever you're doing. You can be in that position. And it also still gives you that freedom of putting, one tight end on each side, one running back on each side, a wide receiver somewhere, and having Aiden Mizell sprint through the backfield for a jet sweep. And again, you can go complete misdirection. You can put two tight ends on one side and have the run go right there. And it's like, yeah, we're running the ball there. Good luck freaking stopping it, buddy, and have some real fun with it. And that's my point here. That will always be my point. This Florida Gators roster is built where they can run 22 personnel and be pretty comfortable with it. This Florida Gators roster is trying to just run the ball and kill the clock and win the game that way. 22 personnel can help you do that, Nape. It can do that. So, yeah, this is a thing that should be involved in the offense because it's the smart thing to do. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We're available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow talking more Florida Gators football. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. We're at New York with Whole Nine Sports, Giants Country, NFL 33, and I will see you all tomorrow.